What's up? I'm Ashley, and the boys are back after nearly 2 years, and they released 3 episodes for the premiere. So we're just gonna jump right into it, and we're gonna start things off with Homelander. In these first 3 episodes, we see Homelander beginning to be tired of his own self, and it's about time. He's thinking his achievements are not enough, and he notices that he can do no wrong in the people's eyes. If he does something good, they cheer for him. And even if he does something bad, they cheer him on for that too. So he's like, what's really going on here? And that's surprising coming from Homelander, because all he wants is to be loved by everyone, even though he doesn't deserve it. And even though he's receiving all of this love, the one person that he wants to love him isn't loving him like that. And it's his son, Ryan. Despite being Homelander's son, the human side of Ryan is more dominant because, he's half soup, half human. So the human side is taking over, which means Ryan is feeling empathy, remorse, and guilt. And Homelander doesn't know what any of that means. So he's having a hard time connecting with his son. Also, Homelander is getting old. He's getting gray hair now, and his stylist has to dye his hair every 2 weeks now instead of a couple of months. His face has wrinkles on it like a prune, so they have to do a lot of airbrushing on his face now, and this is affecting his mental. He's having like a midlife crisis over there. He's thinking maybe my son can be the next me, but at the same time, he doesn't want his son to take any of the limelight off of him. He still wants all the attention, which is why we saw him show up at the made-up crime Ryan was supposed to be the sole hero of. His ego cannot let anyone else save the day, not even if it's his own son. Seems like Homelander's mission this season is that he wants Soup supremacy to lead the nation. He believes Soups are the superior species and believes that they are the only ones who should be running things around here, which is why he wants Victoria to win the presidency, so that the nation could be ran by a soup. He actually wants a soup in every town in the country. He wants the nation to be a state governed by all soups. But the last thing that we saw in Homelander in these 3 episodes was him telling himself that he has to go back to where it started. So it looks like we're finally getting a Homelander backstory, so that should be interesting. Now, moving on to Butcher, where it seems as though we've seen some growth with him, but due to him taking Temp V in season 3 that he was using on a regular, causing him to have an early death if he were to keep taking it at the rate he was taking it, but he didn't want to listen, so now he's over there dying slowly with like 6 months to live. And now he has something crawling in his head. What is that? But Butcher's main purpose this season is keeping his promise to Becca and trying to carry out the debt that he feels like he owes her. He's trying to keep Ryan away from Homelander because that's what Becca wants. She doesn't want her son ending up like Homelander. So along with dying, he's seeing ghosts, while the rest of the boys are focused on supporting the Starlighters, trying to stop the destruction of Homelander and bringing down Newman. But by him being kicked out of the boys by MM, Butcher was able to focus more on his personal issues. We were introduced to Joe Kessler, who worked for the CIA. He wanted to bring Ryan in so that he could mold him into not being like Homelander. He wants to try to get him to take out his own daddy. So him and Butcher had a conversation about that. So then later on, Butcher thought about giving Ryan some cookies that were laced with a sedative. But after having a conversation with Ryan, Butcher decided not to give him them laced up cookies. Even though Butcher doesn't act like it all the time, he does care about Ryan, especially since he was his wife's child. Butcher admitted that he was afraid of dying. He didn't want to leave the world without leaving his mark. So he feels like getting Ryan away from Homelander so that he doesn't turn evil like him will give him a purpose in life before he dies. Let's get into Ryan, who is the first naturally born soup. He was never given Compound V or made in a lab. He's 50% human and 50% soup. And the human side of him is something that takes the forefront, which is why it seems as though it's hard for Homelander and him to connect. You can definitely tell that his mother raised him. There's no confusion in that. When he's with his dad, all he does is do what his dad tells him to do. He has no mind of his own when he's with him. He just does whatever he believes will make his father happy. But when Ryan is with Butcher, he seems to be more comfortable. The life Homelander is living doesn't seem to be for Ryan. I think Ryan will have a big decision to make on whether he's going to choose Homelander or Butcher. And with Joe Kessler in the mix, something big is definitely going to happen with Ryan's character. Since Starlight is wanting to live a regular life now, she's realizing being the face of an organization that refers to themselves as Starlighters means that she actually has to embrace the fact that she was a soup. Because if she doesn't, her support system could go away. She knows that in order to make a change, she needs to embrace her powers. And we saw her do it a few times. The first time is when she needed to save Kimiko and Frenchie when they had to jump out of that building. And another time when she used her light as a form of solidarity in front of the crowd of people. Her main goal is to take down Homelander and prevent the soup supremacy. But this new character that we were introduced to, Firecracker, who's the new member of the Seven, may be giving her a run for her money, especially since she's still holding on to this grudge since they've known each other when they were younger, when they used to do pageants together. Firecracker is saying Starlight used to bully her and turned the judges against her, so she may not be letting up on Starlight's neck this season. She will keep her foot on her neck. Believe that. We meet Sister Sage, whose superpower is she's the smartest person in the world. She can read people very well. She can predict their behavior and even how they're going to act. She can manipulate any situation to her advantage and to Homelander's advantage. And what's even scarier is that she was handpicked by Homelander to be in the Seven. He wants her to do his dirty work, pretty much. Her task is to help him out in the actions that he carries out. Translation: clean up his BS. She's already been able to get rid of Ashley and make the Deep change his behavior. And she's also able to talk to Homelander in a way he's never been spoken to before. So I'm wondering if Homelander is going to end up regretting recruiting Sister Sage. Looks like A-Train is starting to feel guilty, especially since Homelander had him kill 3 innocent people with help from the Deep and Black Noir. And it seems like it's keeping him up at night. He can't seem to think about anything else, especially since his brother doesn't want anything to do with him anymore, and he's been living his life as a lie, pretending to be this hero that he's not. We saw that he handed over the video footage to Starlight and Huey, which proved that the Starlighters who were accused of the Homelander 3 didn't really happen. We also saw him tell MM that Homelander was meeting with Newman at a secret meeting. He also saved Huey from Homelander's laser vision. He never tells Huey why he saved him, but I'm guessing it's because he's feeling bad that he killed his girlfriend and ran through her like that. So it looks like he's switching sides. And this can only mean A-Train is about to die. Looks like we're about to be saying R.I.P. A-Train. It's not going to take long for Homelander and Sister Sage to figure out what A-Train is up to. What's up with Black Noir? Because I thought he died. Who is this man? They must have gotten a replacement and didn't tell the world. He tells Ashley they hired him, but he feels useless. He wants direction because he's just standing around. He's telling her he has a lot of questions, but he's not allowed to speak. So what's going on? He says he needs at least some kind of a playlist to be able to get into Black Noir's head. So clearly it's not the real one. It's not the original. Who is this? And when will they introduce us to this man? Moving on to Frenchie and Kimiko, whose stories are very similar and they seem to coincide with each other. Both of their stories are about the things that are haunting them from their past. For Frenchie, it's about growing closer and building a relationship with Colin, but he's feeling guilty because he killed Colin's whole family in the past. And Colin doesn't even know. So Frenchie is now doing drugs and hallucinating because he's feeling so guilty. As for Kimiko, She's trying to hunt down the people who are a part of the Shining Light organization, which is focused on exploiting children. When she went into the warehouse, there was someone she was fighting that ran away. Could this person be someone she was once imprisoned there with? Huey's father had a stroke and is now in the hospital. And surprisingly, his mother shows up. He hasn't seen her since he was 6 years old. We don't know much about their relationship. We just know that she walked out on him one Friday after being in a depressed state. She says she tried to reach out to him, but his father denied it. So after being told no, she decided to stop reaching out. And even though she hasn't been around, she has the legal right to unplug the machine, if the time came to that. Huey did go to a lawyer to try to get it changed. We'll just have to see how that whole thing plays out. But also, Huey has a sense of loyalty to Butcher, and he wants him back into the boys since MM kicked him out. And that's all MM really seemed to do in these 3 episodes was kick Butcher out of the boys, and he spent his time looking for Todd, who is dead, and figuring out Sage's connection to Homelander and Vought and that whole thing. And that's pretty much it. Y'all let me know your thoughts on these 3 episodes down in the comments so we can talk about it. And if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.